Hey, good morning, you guys. Great. We got confirmation that Scott Foley is in the Hangout joining us this morning. Awesome. Scott,
Yay!
welcome.
Thank you.
On the new show called Goodwin Games.
The Goodwin Games.
But you may also recognize Jake from Scandal, of course.
You may.
And going way back from Felicity days.
Oh my goodness.
But,
you're aging yourself. Don't do that.
No, me, God, no.
No, you didn't know Felicity. No. You were too young.
I looked it up.
Sure.
I looked it up on
Sure.
IMDb. But I want to introduce you to everybody here. We've got Deano, who's hanging out with us from Reno.
Hey, Deano.
Nick is in Dallas this morning.
Hey, Nick.
Hello.
Sheila is in Utah.
Utah.
And
Yes.
Tom is in Atlanta.
Hey, Tom.
And
Atlanta.
we do have a bunch of people watching us on air. Say, hey, world.
Hey, world.
I
Hi,
see
guys.
you.
My goodness.
If you have a question, tag me or anyone in the Hangout. We'll get it to Scott. I do want to start, though, with Goodwin Games because that is what you're here to talk about.
That's
but
right.
I saw the pictures. Like, you look a little bit studious and preppy.
He's a little stuffy.
He's
a little stuffy.
I like to say preppy, but yeah, you say he's a little stuffy.
He's a little stuffy. Henry Goodwin is the character I play on the Goodwin Games. He is a doctor. He's got 2 degrees from Harvard Medical School.
Wow.
So he's
Not much unlike yourself.
very similar to me, who I can't even spell SAT. It's crazy. He is sort of the more conservative, but yet more successful of his 3 siblings on this show. And the show is about 3 siblings who sort of grown apart in their adult life. They come back for their father's funeral, only to learn that he has amassed this $23 million fortune and left it to a single heir. But that heir has to win a series of games that he's set up.
Oh, what an awful day.
I know. It turns out he's not a great dad.
Yeah.
But it's a fun show. It's a really sweet
Okay.
show, really cute, and it's hopefully people will catch on.
Who are your siblings in the show?
I have Becky Newton plays my younger sister Chloe,
Okay.
and you guys might know Becky from Ugly Betty.
Yes.
She was great on Ugly Betty.
Okay.
And then a fantastic actor and comedian named T.J. Miller plays my younger brother Jimmy Goodwin, and he is truly hilarious. Hilarious. I mean, we spent more time on the show probably trying not to laugh than we did acting. It was great.
Excellent. Well, we know you're a nice guy because you're on the show called Scandal. I think every single actor who has come here to talk with us from Scandal is just bar none the nicest people we've ever met.
Oh, that's sweet.
So
Maybe I can change your opinion.
We know.
I doubt that.
If you guys have questions for Scott, you can always get my attention, and I'll go to. Okay, go ahead, Dan.
It's like I'm going to kick things off. It's like I was just reading about the Goodwin Games because honestly, it's the first I've heard about it. Given the last things that you've done, going through Grey's Anatomy, True Blood, Scandal, this is like the polar opposite of all of those very serious, very hardcore shows. It's like, was it sort of jarring coming from such serious drama to something a lot more lighthearted?
That's an interesting question. I had I've done some comedy in the past. I was on Scrubs for a little while.
That's right.
I had a show called AUSA, which was on NBC years and years ago. So I've done comedy. I love it. My wife would tell you that I think I'm a really funny person.
Oh.
Whether you agree with that or not is up to you. But it wasn't hard for me. I got to say, I love Shonda Rhimes and the characters that she writes are so easy to portray for me. I have to do a very little amount of preparation because there's so much in the dialogue and the story already.
It's so fast.
It's so fast. We talk about having Scandal pace. A lot of the direction will be this sort of Scandal pace, like just Scandal pace it up. But the Goodwin Games was it was written by the guys who did How I Met Your Mother, and they have a great track record. So funny. But because there's so much character and so much heart in the show as well, it wasn't hard for me. You just sort of say the lines, and it was really easy for me to transition between the two.
Now, you say that's really easy for you. What is a challenge for you as an actor? Like, what would be material that you'd go, ooh?
I've done some theater. I've done a Broadway show. I did Chekhov off Broadway. Those sort of things are they're fun. They're so much fun, but it's a different muscle you use because you're doing the same thing day in and day out for weeks and months at a time, and trying to find the sort of subtle nuances of that is always a challenge to me. It's just as fun, but live theater is much more of a challenge because you have to remember it and you live with it on a daily basis. When you go in and do television and it's a scene here and a scene there and you can forget it and it's gone.
Absolutely.
But
the
it's totally different
satisfaction
muscle.
is totally different as well.
Totally different.
On the stage.
Totally different.
Right. I do. I remember your character on Cougar Town, which I loved.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
Love that show.
Comedy again.
Yes,
Look at that.
I know.
I forgot about Cougar Town.
Had a great time. How could you forget that
I don't know.
show? It's so much
I
fun.
made out with Courtney Cox. How could I forget?
I
Yeah, it seems to me that would be a standout.
Yeah, it's hard to forget that.
know. So cute. You guys have any other questions for Scott? Okay. Goodwin Games.
Oh, if no one else does, I can keep going.
Okay. Well,
I like it.
Go,
I like
go ahead.
Because, like, yeah, I'm a very huge Scandal fan. It's like I've been trying not to talk about that because I know we mainly want to talk about the Goodwin Games, but
It's okay. Talk about it.
come on, man. It's like I watched that season finale.
What'd you think?
Oh, man. It was just so much was happening. Bam, bam, bam. It's like, you talk about Scandal page. I'll push it up to 11 on that one.
Yeah, she has a way of burning through stories. Shonda Rhimes, I'm amazed, and the writers there, I'm amazed at how much story they can cram into an episode. You know, I'm a big Game of Thrones fan.
Oh,
guys watch Game of Thrones?
Keanu has regular hangouts on Game
I'm a
of Thrones.
huge Game of Thrones fan.
Yeah.
And, you know, I watched last night. I love the show. But sometimes I'm like, come on, I want something to happen. And I'm watching it because I know it will. Because I've watched the show for years now, and I trust the writers, and I believe that this is all going to pay off. But Scandal pays off every single week.
Yeah.
Every week. It's great.
Yeah. Sometimes there's so much story, it's hard to believe it all actually fit in a network TV hour.
I agree. But if you're a fan, you can follow along, and you know exactly what's happening, and you know even sometimes I have to stop and rewind and say, oh my God, wait, what just happened? He's going through the codes. Okay, he's trying all the possible combinations until he gets the Citron card. Wait, what's on the Citron card? Okay, it's the thing from the Ohio Defiance. Okay, like you just sort of you always have to pay attention. I think that's what
You can't blink.
you can't blink, and that's what makes it must-see TV.
But it's like your character made. Let me see.
That says
I'm trying to do this without particular spoilers. In the season finale, your character made a decision that was a good decision, but was a huge detriment to him as a person, and cost him a lot. Do you think it was just the level of care he had for Olivia to make that decision, or had he finally simply had enough of B613?
Well, I think it's a combination of both. I think if he did not have real feelings for Olivia, I don't know if he would have done that and put himself in such peril and such jeopardy. But also, we've learned that Huck has got out of B613. We've learned that Charlie has come to Olivia Pope and Associates and asked for the same deal Huck has, wanting to get out. So there's got to be something about that lifestyle, obviously, that is unappealing and that can be very, very hard on a person for a long period of time. So I think, there's a possibility that Jake is there, is at that point and doesn't.
Now, do you live tweet with all the other the cast when they?
Oh yeah, we all live tweet together.
Do,
we send,
do.
We talk to all the fans. We send compliments or words of encouragement to other cast members during the show. It's really I wasn't a big.
You're tight.
Yeah, we're a tight-knit group. I wasn't a big Twitter guy before. I had an account, but every now and then, once a week, I'd say, "Oh, traffic in LA sucks," and my publicist would say, like, "You're a horrible tweeter. You're a horrible tweeter." And I didn't really understand it, but I now get the power of the tweet and social media.
I was going to ask you about that, like how you felt about social media as a whole, as an actor. For a while, you kind of kept that at a distance, but I think you guys are all sort of embracing it now.
Yeah, it's hard because Look, I had a conversation with Shonda Rhimes when I was feeling sort of a lot of heat from the Scandal fans when they first hated Jake, and it became very personal, and people would say, oh, we're not hating Scott Foley, we're hating the character, but they were very sort of some vitriolic tweets directed towards me, and I had a hard time with it, and she said, look, you can't read the good without reading the bad, and if you give them both the same amount of weight, you have to make sure that you understand that as big fans of you and of the show these people are, that's it. They're fans, and your favor in their eyes will go up and down based on
what you do,
what
on
happens
social media.
on the show and social media.
Speaking of, if you want to tweet Scott, he is at Scott Foley.
Scott K. Foley.
Oh, sorry.
At Scott K. Foley.
Scott K. Foley.
Yep.
Darn it. Okay, I got that wrong. I apologize. Scott K. Foley. We will tweet out a picture, which I want to take with you right now.
Oh, let's take a picture.
Yes. Okay, so here's
Let's do that.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.